There has been many companies over years that have been classed as controversial, but none more so than this brand in recent years. But this club that they brought out caused even more uproar than you would expect. But could it be the perfect club for you? It is one of the most easiest clubs to hit. It's one of the best performing clubs. Could it be your saviour? I certainly think it could be, because this golf club could be the club that you put in your golf bag that I think, if you get it right, if you get it in your bag, could save you 5 to 6 shots next season. So instantly that has got you thinking. But guys, if you're new to the channel, then welcome to this YouTube channel. If you want to join us on the journey to 100,000, that would be fantastic. And guys, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, welcome back. So what company are we talking about today? Because I know you're all thinking, who has been controversial and who has made a massive change in the golf market in the last 5 years? And it's not Tacoma. And today the company we are talking about is Lab Golf, because there's plenty of companies that have come out over the years, and some could be classed as controversial, but Lab for me are controversial because they move the needle. They move the needle by changing putting. So the biggest changes we've seen in the last 10 years have been with these clubs right here, and that is zero tuck. That is Lab. That is changing the way we think about putting. But today I have a putter in my golf bag from Lab that caused even more controversy, and you can see that on screen, because we are not talking about my Oz 1i today. We are talking about the DF3, but the DF3 with a difference. Because like you'll have just seen from that putt, this is what I would call a broom handle, and you see from that logo on the bottom, it also has a broom on there, or something that looks like a broom, but they wasn't able to call this a broom handle because it all got a bit touchy. This is known as the sweeper from Lab. If you go online and you're looking at different putters, this is going to be in that sweeper category, because a few other companies, not naming any names, got a little bit rustled by them calling it a broom handle as if they owned the trademark to that, in which they may do. But obviously, normally other companies have brought these out. They have referred to it as a broom handle, potentially even on their websites, and nothing has got done. But we know when it comes to Lab, because they have changed things quite drastically, and we've seen more and more Labs coming on tour, especially on YouTube, then it is going to be a reason to talk about. And we need to talk about this putter and why you might use one of these putters, and if you're struggling with putting, how this can help. Now the first thing when we think about these putters is, why would you use this? And a lot of times it's because you have the dreaded word that is on screen. I am not going to say it. I was lucky enough recently to spend some time with Ryder Cup legend Sam Torrance, and he was a user of this putter for a long time. He was originally using a conventional putter, just like, let's say, my Oz 1i, a more traditional looking putter at standard length. But then he started to get a little bit uneasy over the ball. So he switched to this putter right here, and he found that he got his consistency back, he got his rhythm, and he started to play well again. So why would you go to it? Well, potentially if you're the guy who's tried left below right, you've tried right below left, you've tried claw, you've tried an arm lock, then this might be the way forward for you. It was very interesting to hear how Sam Torrance would use the putter to get his best results. But you see straight away from there, after a couple of putts, I've got my pace, but it's around the hole where we should start to see improvements. And that's what Lab Golf has been about throughout all the putters that it's brought out. And these are the ones where we want to start to hole out. And how do you set up? Again, why would you be using this? We've talked about the dreaded word, which is on screen, but how would you set up to this putter? So for me, I like to get the thumb of my left hand on top. And then one big thing that Sam Torrance said to me, obviously a legend, used this putter for a long time now, he likes to get his hand underneath there, finger down the side, and start to get that putter working nice and neutral. And the reason he goes underneath is because it's very hard for him to feel like he can turn that putter. So often we have an active right hand that starts to twist the face potentially. So getting that underneath locks this right arm into the chest as well, and then from there we can get that thumb on top. If we start to go this way, a lot of the times for Sam, for example, he starts to see we can still get that figure of 8. And you'll probably mention, well, we see a lot of people with this left arm out as well. That again is personal preference. For me, I like to still feel like my arms are connected to my chest, and I'm starting to use the bigger muscles and keeping this right hand nice and neutral to get that swinging. So obviously in over the shot, I want to have those practice swings. I feel like that right hand pulls it away, right hand pushes it through, and you can see the roll on that straight away. End over end stuff. Let's have another putt now from here. Again, get this lined up. And it's starting to take that thought process away as such. For me, it's less of a thought of, right, gripping it solid, we get that figure of 8 out there. I'm now just thinking, right, get my ball lined up where it wants to be. My arms are nicely connected, and I pull it back and I push it through. Nice and simple here. Again, a great roll. And that is 2 for 2. But let's see it on some longer putts, because longer putts are where a lot of people are losing shots because you're not getting it close enough to the hole. Can this help you with that as well? So now let's talk about distance. You can see there's plenty of technology in here. We know we can play around with that weight setting to get a different feel for you. We've also not got an insert in this putter. So that's something that obviously you can think about when you're talking about putters. What do you want? Do you like a firm feel? Do you like a softer feel? This is all something that you need to take into account. What putter have you been using, and what kind of face does that have if you're thinking about changing? But distance control is one big thing that I see people struggle with, because often as soon as we get long, everyone's trying to hit at this ball. And definitely so with this, like any putter, if I start to hit at this, that club is going to bottom out early. I'm going to catch it fat. And how many times have you caught a putt fat when you're trying to do a longer distance putt? Well, this is where I think we have a little bit of an edge with this putter, because I can really just feel like I just pull that putter back a little bit further. And if we're talking about tour stats, from this distance, 10% is what we would be looking for. So I'm around about 50 foot away there, and I would say that's right on the edge of 5 feet away there. So you might be thinking, well, yeah, but you're not guaranteed from 5 feet. No, but from this distance, a 10% miss would be tour average. So yes, we do want it a little bit better, but nice and easy there, straight away. I'm just letting the club do the work. Straight away there, down the line, and that one nicely now is within 1.5 feet. And you see, I'm not having to do much work there at all with that putt. So get into that setup, really start to just feel like it's nice and easy. And you can see how neutral that stroke is. And all I'm doing is feeling that my right hand pulls it back and pushes it through, which you've heard a lot in this video. But that's how simple putting can be. And if you are struggling and you can't get the two hands to work together, then this is a fantastic option for you. It's something that I've never tried, and when I did see obviously how easy Sam Torrance made it look, like you'll see on the screen, I thought, I've got to get my hands on one. And that is within 6 inches. So, pretty good from distance, but can it hold that 5-footer? I can see how close those two are. I would class those as tap-ins from that distance, which we would take all day, as we are expected more to 3-putt from that distance. But that was rolled end over end and straight in. So guys, if you're struggling with your putting and you want potentially one of the easiest clubs to use, if you know how to use it, then this could be your answer. It could save you, like I said at the start of this video, 5 or 6 shots if you get this right. And if you're struggling with your putting, don't overlook a lab sweeper putter.